Did you know you're never too far gone? You're never too young for you to give your life to God, and He will use you. You need to stay tuned. Welcome to God Answers Prayer. I'm Linda Tiano, your host, and I want to go to Psalms chapter 40, verse 2. He stooped down to lift me out of danger from the desolate pit I was in, out of the muddy mess I had fallen into. Now He's lifted me up into a firm, secure place and steadied me while I walk along His ascending path. No matter the trial, Yahweh is always there to guide us and love us into healing. Jj Garcia is sharing his story of being lifted up to walk in the calling on his life. We'll be right back after this. Well, welcome back. I'm here with Jj Garcia. It's good to have you here with us today. Jj, you've kind of led an interesting life for one so young.
Yeah, it's a lot of ups and downs.
Yeah. So, I mean, you would say that you grew up in church and you knew a lot of the good things, but things changed.
Yeah. I grew up going to one of our local churches in Santa Fe since I was a kid with my grandma, called the Vineyard. We went Wednesdays, Sundays, whenever we could. I would say that she's probably the one who really got me going in my faith. And then she ended up passing away, and I kind of had like anger, cause towards God for a while there, cause He took away the one person who introduced me to Him, who actually brought me closer to Him in my faith. And I just carried an anger for a while because towards God, and probably myself, because I just didn't know what to do. I was probably still not even in my teens when she passed away, still figuring out my faith.
And you didn't know how to grieve. Yeah, because grieving is a holy thing.
Yeah.
You know. So what happened from there then?
I started shying away from the church, shying away from God, not really. I kind of was in a phase where I didn't want anything to do with Him because of what happened, the events that occurred. Didn't know how to handle my grief, and just shied away from Him, living my school years, getting in the wrong crowds. Then my sophomore year of high school, I started to get back into, one of my friends invited me to church, so I started to actually get back into going to church. And then I dealt with some more grief when my auntie and my uncle both passed away a little bit apart of each other, and I still didn't really, even though I was going to church, still didn't really know how to handle that grief. So I shied away again from church, and I'd say that time it was worse because I just started hanging around with the wrong crowds. In my mind at that time, it was like, okay, God, this is the second time that this has happened, that you've taken away people from me. I was just getting in trouble doing in my mind, I was trying to get back at Him for taking away the people I loved. So I just started hanging around with the wrong group, getting into trouble, getting into messes with people. And one night I was just hanging out with the wrong crowd like I usually did. And we were hanging out in a park, and then some people pulled up and they were flashing a gun at us and stuff. And I don't know why, but I just heard this audible voice in my head, just lay down, lay down. And at that time, I didn't know, but it was God's voice actually telling me to lay down. So in that moment, I laid down in the back seat of that car, and I just take it as I was at my lowest. And even though I was there, God still chose to speak to me and to just continue to move in my life, even though I was trying to get back at him, trying to just get him angry at me as much as I can. And it was crazy because I've never heard God's voice. It was just so audible, like someone was speaking into my ear.
You know, his word tells us he will never leave us or forsake us. So no matter where we are and what we've been doing, he's still there. He's still there. It's interesting talking about the grieving, because I think, unfortunately, it's not something it doesn't seem like it's really allowed, in church, in a sense. People don't know what to do with it.
Yeah.
It's awkward. And yet, the thing that you need the most is to be able to talk and share, how you're feeling and what's going on, and just have people just love on you and be there with you through the tears and through all the emotions. It's so important. But now that you've been through that, you really see, I bet now, when you run into those situations, how to respond.
Yeah, it was really like now with my grief, it's a whole way of thinking about it, because usually when I had my grief, I just wanted to isolate and not go to God or anything. And then I'd say last year, another one of my uncles passed away, and I wasn't really close with him, but the times we did hang around each other, and we were around each other, we were close, like we've been together for a while. And that time when he passed away, I actually got the call when I was at church, and instead of shying away and stuff, I really realized the people that are around me, the people that God placed in my life, are there for me. So I was crying, and I just had that support behind me where people would pray for me.
So important. Wow. So you said that God actually saved you that night. I mean, was there gunfire?
Yeah, there was gunfire, and I was laying down in the back of that seat, and nothing happened. Everyone in the vehicle was fine, and it was at that moment when I realized that
It was a wake up.
Yeah, it was for sure a wake up call. But I'd say more to that. For me, it was the wake up call to lay everything down. I could, and then looking back now, I see that God was always in my life, just moving, even though I didn't see it, just back to back. And that's when I really decided to just give everything up and just fully go after him, because even though I was doing all those things, like I said, he still decided to speak to me and save me. So it made me realize it's time that I give up everything for the person who's always there for me.
And so you've given up everything, and yet you've had some amazing opportunities in your life.
Yes, for sure.
So tell us about that. I mean, it changed your life, and you're still going to the same church?
I am at the Light at Mission Viejo now.
Okay.
Yeah, when I went back, that place just felt like home to me. It just felt like the place that God wanted me to be. It was just welcoming for my first steps into that door, and no judgment, no nothing, but actually a support group for me.
Yeah. So what kind of an insight would you share with people that with regard to your relationship with the Lord?
I'd say just never just stop seeking him, because that's like the one thing I realized with my relationship, and sometimes I still struggle with it, but it's just seeking him in the highs and the lows. It's I believe it's in James when it tells us that take joy in your trials and tribulations, because we could be so happy when we're at the highest and show so much joy and so much gratitude to God, but then I feel like oftentimes we hit our lowest and we just forget about what God has done for us, instead of thanking him that we're in this trial to the point where we could actually grow.
Right. So important. So, in the midst of all of this, now I know you're like, you have a position there at the church, right?
Yes.
What is it that you're doing?
Right now, I am handling our social media as well as I am the audiovisual director
Oh, okay.
for Sunday services.
And so, was that training that came through being there, or did you
Yeah.
already have some of that experience?
I had no experience, I'm going to be honest. But while I was there, I did have two mentors there that really boosted me up. One with that audiovisual side, which I'm grateful for, helping me, just plugging me in when I first got back to the point where I could actually learn this stuff. And now that when it was time, he trained me enough to where I could actually go and we wouldn't have to worry about anything, but we'd actually be set.
Very good. And so, tell us a little bit about the mission trip. How did that come about?
It's honestly a crazy story. So I was planning to go to Bethel School of Supernatural Ministry,
Right.
but I just felt like God was calling me and telling me that it wasn't time to go on to school, Bible school. So then I was like, okay. So then I settled down. I was all, Santa Fe is where I need to be right now. So I was there. And then I still had that fear of missing out. So I actually applied to Upper Room School of Ministry, and it was the week before they went on their their trip before school starts. And my whole account got deleted. So I was like, okay, God, you obviously want me here for something, so I'm gonna stay. And then I was just praying, and God, what do you want me for? What are you gonna use me for? And it's just, he spoke missions trip, and I didn't know to where, and he just said Cambodia. So I was like, what do you mean, God, Cambodia?
Yeah.
And he just spoke to me, so I found a place where I could actually go, and found a group called Overlands Missions, and I applied right away. Didn't want to hold back on where God was sending me, and I got accepted, fundraised. I didn't have as much time as everyone else did to fundraise for that mission trip because I joined late, and God just blessed me, and within 2 weeks I was fully funded to go on this mission trip. So
That's amazing.
I knew it was meant to be. This is where he was calling me.
So, tell me about what happened the moment your foot set down on the ground in Cambodia.
I would say that like God started moving even before I stepped foot in Cambodia.
Really?
On my plane ride. I just had a vision of a lady with like an infected leg. Her leg was just like black, had like black spots and stuff. And then once I stepped foot in Cambodia, it was just, okay, we have to find this. Had a group of people who I shared my vision with. We were already all looking for this person, and I saw many healings, many salvations there. We went house to house ministry, and it was amazing because as we were going to house ministry, there was just such a hunger for God in a place in Cambodia where they had no access to any religion besides Buddhism, stuff like that. And we were there. And then one morning before we went out to our and in our van ride to the actual city, we had to evacuate from the town we were in, because
Really?
during that time Cambodia went to war with I believe it was Thailand, and we were so close you could hear the actual bombs and everything dropping off in the distance. But what was like so much confirmation that we were meant to leave to Vietnam, is that's where we went, was that God actually, the first day we were in Vietnam, God actually connected me paths with that person I had the vision for.
Really?
So it wasn't in Cambodia. Yeah, it wasn't in Cambodia. It was actually in Vietnam, the place that we weren't even meant to be in.
That's amazing. So, Vietnam, I mean, what was that like? Was it similar to Cambodia as far as the conditions that the people were in, or
No, I'd
different?
say they're completely opposites. At least in the place we went to, I believe the place we were in was Hanoi, which is, I think it's
Like
their
a capital city.
Yeah. It really, really like upstream, like kind of
Right.
like a New York City type thing over there. Cambodia, when we went, it was just a little village with houses that like were barely built, not like very structurally integrity, no doors, nothing like that. And it was like a complete shift from what we prepared for on the like getting ready to go. So it was like kind of an adapt and overcome situation, but it's heavily. We weren't allowed to really say like where we were exactly in Vietnam because over there spreading the gospel is actually illegal.
Right.
So we couldn't even call evangelism over there. We had to be safe. But over there it's weird because we dealt with a lot of Buddhism in Cambodia, but over there it's more like government. They see their leader who actually won the Vietnam War for them as kind of their God. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, we're going to pause right here for a moment.
Awesome.
And as we've been listening to this, it's very interesting. And maybe the Lord's touching your heart right now because He's put a call on your heart to do something for Him. If you're concerned about that, if you've been having that nudging and you need prayer, give us a call. We've got prayer partners that love to pray, and they will pray the word with you. So give us a call. The number's right there on the bottom of the screen. We'll be right back in a moment with JJ. Well, welcome back, and we were just talking with JJ about being in Vietnam and the fact that you were kind of undercover.
Yeah.
You were stealth fighters.
Oh yeah, for sure.
So tell us about the people. Were they equally as open to hearing the good news, or?
It was hit or miss, I'd say, with that, because over there, a lot of them go to school for government jobs and stuff like that. And if you're a believer and they find out in a government job, it's hard or nearly impossible to get either bumped up to a different position, a higher position, or even you could even get fired for something like that, depending on how open you are. So I would say the good thing is people were so eager to just talk with us, even if they weren't like intentional in hearing, because over there they're big on teaching English and learning how to speak English. So even though people weren't too open, they'd still talk to us and sit there because they'd be able to like
practice.
Yeah, practice their English with us, exactly. So that was a plus, because I don't see like when people aren't open to the gospel or so eager to hear, I still see it as a seed that's being planted, because even though they're not open to it, you're still getting to share the gospel with them to the point where they're gonna go home and they're actually gonna think on it, and it could actually change someone, because that alone time when they're thinking on the gospel, when you share it with them, they could go home alone and just think about it and think about like, this makes sense, this is I want what they have.
Yeah, those are the kind of situations where Jesus can actually appear to people in their dreams, and it's shocking, but wonderful. So what about the lady with the leg that was all black?
Yeah, so with her, when we saw her, like I said, it was our first day there. It was so crazy because when we asked her, like, can we pray for you? She was so excited, like she's been like waiting or eager on this. And it's like she was happy like right away. She's like, yes, please. So we were able to pray for her. And the craziest thing is like we never saw her after that day. Like we got to pray for her. She said her leg was feeling bad, and after that day we never saw her again. So it's kind of like God was moving in that moment, and we were meant to be there to even just for that one moment to share and just pray.
It was kind of a test of obedience too, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Following through. Do you really believe that I spoke to you? Do you really believe that we were going to find this woman?
Yeah. Because even on the plane ride, I was talking with my buddy that I made while we were there, and he's like, well, we're still going to be looking for that lady. Like, none of us lost that. Like, none of us got discouraged in that moment, because we knew that God put this vision in my mind for a reason, and that God's going to show us this person. So it was just all about staying faithful to Him.
So what's it like being in ministry at such a young age?
I'd say it's could be stressful sometimes. Just troubleshooting stuff, like especially for me, because I'm in the back with the audio visual stuff. It's a lot of adapting in like certain situations. When something goes down, you have to be quick to get it back up. There's no sound to the audio. It's quick to try to figure out what it is. But I say it's amazing, because I get people on my team. I have a whole team back there, and it's just so amazing to watch them grow.
Yeah.
And just because even though they don't some of them don't see it themselves, that but they're actually serving God, and working back there is a worship to God, and just being able to see their lives change and them growing through this even though they can't see it. That's really why I'm in ministry at all, is just to see lives impacted, not about being on the stage or any of that.
There's been a real shift there at the light. I mean, you've got a very young leadership now.
Yeah, we're a group of really young people, which is good, because we're seeing that I'm seeing it at least in most churches, because there's more young people going, and
Yeah,
it's
good.
amazing. There's a hunger for in the younger youth and the young adult ages to actually they're hungry and they want God. So it's when you have a leadership who understands them, which is what our church is great at. It's just so easy for them to come and just keep coming and coming, hungrier and hungrier.
Right. Yeah. Things. Your generation is hungry, and so what is it? What is it like here in the United States? Do you regard the U.S. as a mission field?
Yes, I do heavily, especially when I went to Cambodia. Most people go on mission trips and they feel like they get prepared here. But for me, I actually felt like I got prepared in Cambodia to come back here. I've started my own evangelism organization here
Okay.
with its main focus on the U.S. So I felt like I was being called back here. Instead of going to Bible school like I talked about earlier, that God actually wanted me to go on that mission trip to come back here. So I do see the U.S. as my mission field, and I'm hungry to go out and I want to go to reach each state, each city in the U.S. and just be able to spread the word of God no matter what it takes.
Be a young Sean Foyt.
Yes, I really do look up to Sean Foyt.
Yeah.
I had the honor of taking photos for him at one of his events in Santa Fe.
Very good.
So yeah, it's just what he's doing is amazing. I really do look up to him. Like he did his 50 capitals. I really want to do it on that level. I want us to build a team up and have the support to where we could do that at a level that he does. Because especially in the light of recent events, I feel like there's just such a hunger and a hunger for God in the nation. And I feel like people always go out in their missions field to other places, but I feel like as believers, it's time we push into our own backyards and push into the U.S. instead of shying away from it now.
You're really blessed to be in the generation that you're in, because you know the ones ahead of you, some of those have kind of how do I say it? They have lost their faith, or they were just in a place where they didn't get it. They went to college and they got indoctrinated by a lot of things. But your generation has seen that, and you don't want it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's important, that you be able to get out there and do what you do. So the biggest lesson that you would say you've learned?
I'd say the biggest lesson I've learned is just, I was talking about this earlier, is kindness leads to repentance. It's instead of downing people for not believing, instead of getting mad at people when they sin, we actually got to love on them. We have to show them the love that Jesus showed us, and that's what I've really learned throughout my whole walk is God loved me enough to where he could forgive me for anything that I've done. And we have to be able to forgive people for what they do as well. We have to love on people no matter what, because that's truly what's going to bring them to God. We can't get mad at someone as a believer for not believing, or get mad at someone when they sin, no matter how big or how little, and expect them to want to come back to God after we hated on them for it.
Yeah.
But instead, we need to love on them in that moment. We need to love on them when they come to us telling us, hey, I messed up, I sinned, or coming to us as, I don't believe, but I want to learn. Instead of being harsh on them, we need to show them that love, the love that Jesus showed us.
What is it? I believe in the word. Doesn't it say that he groaned with compassion? And that's that heart attitude of putting yourself in their place in a way, and saying, there, but for the grace of God, go. I am, I maybe I've been there. But yeah, to extend that grace and that love It's so important. And that's going to change hearts. It's going to change lives. Well, I'm so glad you came and shared with us today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I'm going to ask all of you if you would pray for this young man, JJ, and the others that are just like him, that are out there, that are beginning to walk out and walk in their purpose. And if you feel like you're being called, but you're not quite sure what to do with it, or maybe you're not even sure about who this Jesus person is, will you give us a call? Because he is the one who gave his life for each and every one of us. It's the greatest gift that was ever given to mankind. So today, as the Father draws you to his Son, I'm praying that you will say, yes, I do believe you died for me and that you shed your blood for my sins, and I will confess you before men. If that's you, give us a call. We want to make sure you have a Bible, and our prayer partners will pray with you. And wow, it's going to be get ready. It's going to be a great ride. Not easy, but wonderful. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May he lift up his countenance upon you and give you his everlasting peace. Shalom, shalom.
Thank you for joining us today on God Answers Prayer. If you or someone you know would like to be a guest on our program, please contact us by visiting kchftv.org and click on Share Your Testimony. Our prayer partners are here to pray for your needs. Call us today at 505-345-4165. We appreciate your prayers and support. Join us again next time for more inspiring stories and testimonies. Remember, God is always listening, and he answers our prayers in his perfect timing.